Okay, you sure?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Sorry about that. Of course, you know me, guys. I always have some kind of technical problem. Still trying to learn my damn, uh, system. But we are live, and welcome again to Embrace Your Edges. I'm Hillary here in Ontario, Canada, and we're joined tonight with a lovely, lovely lady, trailblazer actually. So, Rhonda Ross is the owner of Simply Vogue Boutique, and she's located in Philadelphia. Um, she's approaching her 37th year in a row in the same location in Philly, and has dressed almost every fashionable lady in Philadelphia, in New Jersey, and Delaware. Girl, okay. She's decided to go into business over 37 years ago because she eats, drinks, and breathes fashion. Um, some of the challenges have been inevitable, but she loves what she does. She loves her boutique and has employed over 40 people over the last 37 years. She's assisted as well as counseled others because Miss Rhonda is also an advocate. Uh, when it comes to the kind of counsel that she's done, it has been about various business adventures as well as personal growth. Her legacy has been building confidence and personal style for women of all walks of life. Welcome, 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 Rhonda, and thank you so much for joining us on Embrace Your Edges. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. I'm blessed to be breathing. And don't forget, everyone, to like, subscribe to the channel. Keep me going and support my efforts. My WhatsApps is going on like crazy. Okay, I got to see what these people are going on with. But I am going to make sure I drop that link. Colette is in the chat. Colette, can you drop the link back into WhatsApps again so everyone can get on? Okay, we have some people already on live with us. So, my first question for you, if I can get back to my question, um, tell me about yourself, or tell us about yourself.
Well, I, of course, am a wife, mother, and grandmother. Grandmother being my most proud accomplishment, since all I had to do was just wait for my final granddaughter because I'm a mother of two sons.
Oh, what?
Granddaughter has style
Yes.
and is already at 3.
Okay.
Excited to just watch her blossom.
Yeah.
I am a doula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes. And I find that very rewarding because I'm an advocate for breastfeeding and natural, um, taking care of your child naturally
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to synthetic formulas. But
Okay.
if you can't help use them, you use them. And I
Yeah.
really try to advocate for breastfeeding.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
really excited about that. That's a new challenge in my life. But retail and fashion will always be my passion.
All right. Thank you for that. And that's amazing. I can see too, the fashion is giving. Okay, you look really nice. I love it. And why did you decide to start your business? So tell us a little bit about that because there are going to be some people tonight watching because they're starting out either in fashion or they're starting out their own, at entrepreneur venture. And I love entrepreneurship. I'm always about that. So tell us about that. Why did you get into? Why did you start your business? What was the motivation?
Well, my motivation actually was, to be totally honest, was that I don't like people telling me what to do. So I knew I had to be my own boss. And that's probably something that my mother said when I was a teenager because I didn't want to conform to the rules of the household.
Yeah.
So I think entrepreneurship is in my blood.
Mhm.
I had no doubt that I would succeed from the beginning. I I love a story that I like to tell
Mhm.
about my school counselor in the 8th grade.
Okay.
When you bring the classroom together and you ask people, well, what are you going to be when you grow up? What do you want to be?
Yeah.
And everyone said a nurse, a secretary, a doctor,
Yeah.
whatever, blue collar worker. And I said, I'm going to be in fashion. And she said, now, Rhonda, that is not a career.
Oh,
Where is she
okay.
now? Okay. And I'm still
Wow.
friends with like seven other people that was in that classroom
Oh,
with, so yeah, it's something that, some people may look at as a hobby that turned career, but I've always known that that was my passion.
oh, okay. Well, that's amazing. And shame on her for saying something like that because
Shame on her.
as a teacher, you want to encourage your children, not to tell them they can't do something. And that reminds me actually of a little, my glasses are crooked. That reminds me of a little story of my son. My son, he loves art, and he was drawing and stuff like that. And this teacher told him that he would never, one, graduate high school, or two, go into art. Not only did he graduate high school, but he went into doing animation at college. So that just goes to show you that, you know, it takes one person to say something negative to make a child, not go after their passion. But I'm so glad that you had that foundation and support, that even though she said that, that made you want to even push harder. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, when she said it, it didn't even impact like she thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize it until way later in life when I thought about it one day. And I said, wow, now she could have been a dream killer.
Yes.
Um, you know, so thank God for
Mm.
determination and perseverance because that's
Amen.
what happened.
Oh, okay. Good. And what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Just the challenges, the everyday challenges, and meeting different people of all walks of life, and putting the whole sales pitch
Mm-hmm.
into play and achieving the results.
Yes. Oh, okay. And explain some of that. Give me an example of it.
Well, with retail, you start out with wholesale
Mm-hmm.
and you market yourself for retail,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to attract the people who will like the style that you chose,
Okay.
and then you need to get them to purchase it,
Mm-hmm.
wear it, and come back and tell you how many compliments they received and how fabulously they felt.
Oh, okay. And what do you do with that information? Like, so a person comes back and say, "Oh, Rhonda, girl, I got a job wearing an outfit." What do you do?
Well, we celebrate and we say buy something else so you can keep the job. You're always a salesperson.
You're upselling, huh?
Always.
Okay. And now let's talk about lessons in life, because one of the things that I learned about entrepreneurship, and whether you learn it a hard way or easy way, is those lessons, when it comes to being your own, owning your own business. So, what was one of your biggest challenges, or what is one of your biggest challenge right now?
Right now, it's just foot traffic and attracting people and making them want to come into a what they consider brick and mortar,
Mm-hmm.
because so many people are at home on their
Mm-hmm.
computer clicking with a finger
Mm-hmm.
and purchasing whatever it is they think they need or want and having it directly shipped to their door.
Okay, like Amazon. I'm gonna say
Like,
it.
like all of them,
Mm,
whoever.
okay. It,
Groceries, it doesn't matter. People have gotten complacent
mm-hmm.
and they just order from home. And it may be a safety issue also because it is getting a little crazy,
Yeah.
street. But you still need, like, some people need to feel their fabrics, they need to try things on,
Mm-hmm.
they need to get that experience, which is another word for retail therapy. They need to talk to somebody
Mm-hmm.
about their item, so they need to be more personal with
Yeah.
their shopping experience.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna just shout out to some of the people in the audience right now. Baby Eiffel is one of our regulars. Thank you so much for coming this evening. I got a message from Petra. Nice to know that you're doing. She's actually an entrepreneur as well. She's all the way in Guyana, and is right now taking a course to enhance her entrepreneurship. So we're just going to do a shout out to her. She says, I'm in class right now, going for her electrical installation class because it's something that she wants to get into. I love when women are taking on those jobs that are meant for men. Okay, so sticking with the whole lesson piece and challenges, um, what did you do to overcome this particular challenge, or what are you doing to overcome this challenge? And is there a particular challenge that you have overcome that you can share with us that will be a great lesson for an up and coming entrepreneur? And I'm just going to say a quick hello to Rudy. Rudy, good night. He goes, good night to you and Miss Rhonda and Miss Ross. He calls you Miss Ross. She's, I know, yeah, you can't see the chat, but they're there, they're listening. Go on, share that with us, because I know there are some people that are now going into business and really having some challenges. So maybe you can give an example around that.
Well, challenges, you will always have them.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to look at a challenge and say, is this a lesson? And what is the lesson? What am I supposed to learn from this challenge
Mm-hmm.
when I overcome it? Because you will overcome it. And then it becomes a blessing because
Mm.
now you have that foundation and you have that memory of that experience.
Mm.
So all challenges are lessons that turn into blessings.
Amen. That's such my grandpa's saying when I was younger. He would say, "Lessons are blessings." He had a little plaque on the wall. And of these lessons, what is something that one thing that you're dealing with that you're now trying to overcome or have overcome?
Well, the determination to succeed, regardless of what state the world is in,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's COVID, whether it's not, or whatever, you have to get up every morning with the attitude that you will
Mm-hmm.
um, achieve your goal.
Yeah.
And you can set a high goal, you can set a medium goal, you can set a low goal, but have a goal
Yeah.
in mind. And if you exceed it, then that's a double blessing.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I got so many people coming in, just hitting me on me right now. I don't know what to do. So tell me how. One second. I got more people. So here we go. We had one person. Cheryl was trying to call into the show, but I had to stop her for now. Cheryl, can you drop the question that you have for us? She's in Trinidad. So I know she wants to ask the question. So drop it into my WhatsApp. So drop it into DMs on IG. I'm not able to grab the phone because this is a new setup. As you can see, things are running really clearly. So thank you so much, my little tech boy in the background, Mr. Kobe, for helping me out. My son really came through this evening and got it all the way down to the line here. Um, okay. So the next question I'm going to ask you has to do with the finances, because one of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship, and I know in the United States because I looked at y'all stuff in regards in comparison to Canada when it comes to grants and different pieces, especially for Black women and for new businesses. Tell us, how did you funded your business in the early stages?
So 37 years ago, which
Mm-hmm.
was a long time ago, I received a settlement from an accident case, which was only $25,000. But then that was like 100,000.
Mm.
Um, so that's how I got my feet wet. That's how I got started. But then I went to New York and I made connections with people. And
Mm.
when people see your passion, when you live it,
Yeah.
when you breathe it, they want to be a part of it. And they had the merchandise, and I had the vision and the dream. And so we collaborated together
Mm-hmm.
and merged. And so that's what kept me afloat. Well, that's how I really got my feet planted solid on the ground.
Okay.
But whatever you do, when it comes to finances, you cannot forget your hustle. You
Mm.
have to respect that. You have to call people. You have to put things in your car. You have to have word of mouth. You have to constantly do whatever you can to get people interested in what you're doing
Okay. All right.
or selling.
Yeah. And that's so what are some of the things that you did to get the interest up? Because I think that, when I started out, I left my government job and went into trucking right before the pandemic hit, and didn't know much about it. I did a lot of research and a lot of talking to a lot of trailblazers like yourself in regards to how to move. And when it comes to finances, there's so much information around that we don't know about as a new entrepreneur, whether it be, as I said, the grants or the different kind of programs that you can latch on to. One of the things that a trailblazer said to me, don't use your own money. He said, don't use your own money unless you have money. He goes, but if you don't have money, don't borrow a loan. Would you advise a person starting out a small business to get a loan, or would you advise them to start out with the grants first?
Well, I had no idea about grants and loans back then. However,
Mm-hmm.
there are SBA, small business loans. There are grants. There are grants for women in business. There are
Mm-hmm.
grants for people over 40, over 50, over 60. So I would do that. I would go that route first now. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do it then. I would
Mm-hmm.
do it now. And again, regardless of what you get, what grants you get, how much money you have, you're still not going to have enough money.
Yeah.
So you still got to keep your hustle on.
Yeah.
You have to do things that's unorthodox. Like when I first started, I opened at 10
Mm-hmm.
and I closed at 7. So
Mm.
that was enough time for the women to uh, get home, check on their children, start their dinner, run out because they have a meeting the next day or something, grab a blouse or a
Mm-hmm.
brooch or scarf or something just to make them just, elevate their look.
Yeah.
And so being known to stay open until 7 because I was young
Mm.
and started at 25 and I had no children. I wasn't married. So I was married to the business.
Right. And did that start like a little brand for you? Like it became a thing where they knew that at least you were
It
open till
became a
7?
thing. I was
Ah,
open
okay.
and I would stay until 8. I had no place to go but home to come back and reverse and do it again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. Yeah, what I did, for mine, for example, I had a niche. Having a niche is really, it's really key when it comes to businesses as well too. Because if you're like everybody else and everybody's oranges, and there's no apples in the bunch, you're gonna just blend right into the background. So I had to find a way. Being a woman, one thing, because I'm not sure about you, and maybe we can talk about that piece in this lesson piece. As a woman entrepreneur, as a black woman entrepreneur, what were some of the challenges that were different for you that would be different for others that are not either female or black?
Well, just the underlying disrespect. I was young and
Mm-hmm.
so because I was 25, I looked maybe 20, 21, whatever. So that was an instant disrespect for
Mm.
my knowledge because I didn't look like I would be the owner of the business.
Right.
So people would come in and challenge me, is the owner here? And I say, you're looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
I need the owner. You're looking at her.
Wow.
So that right there was the biggest challenge I had. And
Mm-hmm.
then this being black and young,
Mm-hmm.
um, even people of our own race 37 years ago, they
Mm-hmm.
always thought it was something that you can't do.
Right. Right.
My mother told me that the business district was not going to allow me to have a business on Wadsworth Avenue.
Mm.
She said something that was racist
Mm.
because most of the
Yeah.
people were Jewish back then. So she said they were not going to allow me in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Wow.
was like, I don't think so. I'm
Yeah.
getting.
You're getting in.
She's
I
so
had
good.
one. Yeah.
So, you know,
Victor, welcome to the show. I got Victor. He's one of our regulars as well. I had a situation happen. I had gained a particular shipment, and it was bringing up from Detroit to Canada, and when I got there, I don't touch freight. So that was my one of my things that I don't touch freight. Not because I can't move freight or I wasn't strong enough. It was simply because of the insurance piece. And I realized the amount of money that would come along, the responsibilities around that. So one of the trailblazers said to me, if you do the no touch freight ones, it's less responsibility and more money, right? And so I went that route, and I really love that because, again, I want to make sure that my health is okay, right? So I showed up at my load to drop off the load, and it was a touch freight situation. So the guy, I called up the customer, and the customer said, "Oh, I have another driver there. Get him to help you out." He comes over, takes one look at me. You know what he said to me? He said, "You know what, little girl, sit down and make some tea. I'll let the men move the freight." So I let him move the freight. I let him go ahead, move the freight. The other truck driver that came over to help him took one look at me and said, "You own this, don't you?" I said, "Yep." He goes, "So I am taking all this stuff off of this, and you're going to get paid for it, and I'm not going to get a simple dime." I said, "He don't know that." So when he came back and he said, "Oh, see, little girl, all the men, did it for you," and I said, "Yeah," and I sat down and drank some tea and made $400 on you. Thank you. And he walked away, grumping and whatever. But that's one of the challenges being a female, especially in as a business owner, having that attack onto you. You do come up on those chauvinistic people. You come up on people that are racist, people that your own kind that want to challenge you because they think that you should give them a deal or something like that. So that is, I totally understand that piece. And how did you, when it comes to financing options, what would you recommend as a new entrepreneur? Knowing, I know you said, if you had it to do over again, you would look at the grants. But is there anything out there that we don't know about that you've come across?
No, actually, there's always something in the media about entrepreneurs and black women in business and um, black women in retail.
Hey, Petra.
So,
Go on.
so that's a good thing. But I'm not really connected that way because I kind of only have one store, and so I only focus on that store.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't know anything other than the SBA and the regular grants, and
Mm-hmm.
then the grants specifically targeting black women
Mm-hmm.
or older ones or younger ones. So there's a lot in the United States
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to grants, but you got to navigate through the internet and through the research, and you really got to do your homework with that
Mm-hmm.
because of the different qualifications you have to receive it.
Is there any type of software that you think as an entrepreneur I should know? Or even any kind of, because one of the things that a lot of people get into is the books, the taxes, and making sure that you're on top of your finances in regard. What do you have any advice around that as to what you should have or what you should know?
Well, all I can say is you should have a business accounting, a good one, and they know all the things that we don't know. They have all the knowledge. So you have to just search yourself for a good business accountant that knows these laws and bylaws and things because at the end of the day, it all boils down to if you pay how much your taxes are, whether
Mm-hmm.
you pay them one time, whether you pay them with a penalty, or whether you ignore them and don't pay them at all.
Okay. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning. Okay. Your first sale. What was that like?
Well, it's so cute because my first sale, I said to myself, if I can make $100 a day,
Mhm.
that I would consider myself successful. By the next couple of months, I moved it up to $500 a day. A
Okay.
couple months later, I moved it up to $1,000 a day. Would make me successful.
Yeah.
So it constantly grew, and the
Yeah.
goal kept, reaching it and then climbing for another one. So somewhere along the line, before I had my store renovated, I literally had my first dollar. I
Yeah.
don't know what to it. It was
No.
in. Mm,
Oh, did you frame
that's
it?
something. That's something that people did a long time ago.
Yeah.
You would go in stores and see money in the frame. You wonder
Yeah.
why is that in the frame, and they would say my first dollar. So I did it too, but I don't know what happened to it. My, my store is totally renovated. So
Oh my God.
I
And
didn't.
and what was that like when you realized that, you know what, I'm getting so much traffic that I now need to hire an employee. And who was your first employee, and what was that experience like for you?
Well, I actually hired one from the start. So
Okay.
my first employee was a lady that I like to call my godmother. Her name was Margaret Williams,
Okay.
and so she was like a good friend, but she was a motherly type
Hmm.
figure. So I knew that I could trust her. So she was my first employee.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
what kind of culture do
Oh,
you like to create when it comes to having employees? Because what works and what doesn't work? What's I'm looking for?
well, energy works. Not so much super high energy, but definitely energy. Definitely a personal style of your own
Mm-hmm.
that we can elevate and that we can tweak. Good customer service skills, and
Oh, entrepreneurship is.
okay, I'll be at the door.
Okay. Yeah, so Rhonda has to step away for like 2 seconds because, like any entrepreneur, she always has something good. I want to say hi to everyone that's in the chat. Petra, I actually read that you were taking a electrical installation class. I am so excited to hear a little bit more about that. And maybe you can join, dropping the chat, your entrepreneur ventures. I know that you too are entrepreneur and you are all the way in Guyana, but I know that your information is just as valuable because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. And I think Rhonda is back with us, maybe. Oh, hello. Hi. Welcome
This
to.
is that good accounting that I told you about.
Okay. We're embrace your edges. Okay. Live, everybody. Okay.
On YouTube, on all kinds of stuff.
All right. Yeah. So, Petra, if you could just drop a little bit about what you're up to. And again, I want to thank all the regulars for being here tonight. And remember to like and subscribe to Embrace Your Edges. Coming up next week, we will also have more entrepreneurs for you. We have one lady who does a spin class as well as investment property, and she's going to talk us a little bit about Airbnb as well as investing in a rental property. We have another lady that is going to tell us a little bit about running a podcast around parenting. But Rhonda is back with us, and we're going to continue the questioning. That was good. You talk about your content, and he appeared, huh?
Right.
Okay. Let's go on. How do you balance personal life?
Is it for him?
Yeah. How do you balance your personal life and the demands of running a business?
Well, of course, it's like a seesaw and a yo-yo and a roller coaster all wrapped up in one. But you do what you have to do. You put your priorities in order. So that's your family and your children first.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you have to do something unorthodox like open later or earlier when you have the time, you
Mm-hmm.
communicate with the customers and you do whatever you need to do to accommodate them and make the sale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a balancing act, but it all works out.
So did you have to have a conversation with your family to say, this is what I'm doing or the sacrifice, or is it something that they already knew and you guys worked together to come up with an idea?
Well, they already knew
Yeah.
because I had the store before I got married.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something that they already knew. So I just basically had to figure out how to make it all work.
Yeah. And were there any challenges around that where you saw that the family was either suffering or the business was suffering and you had to sacrifice one or the other?
Well, not so much sacrifice, but I do have lots of people who will say, I remember her breastfeeding in the store.
So the kids, did the kids start working in the store?
No, I have boys. They never
Yep.
worked in
They
the
never
store
went.
before.
Did they want to work in the store?
No.
Okay.
My granddaughter,
Uh
on
huh.
the other hand, is only 3, and she every time she comes in, she stands up on the stool and she wants to run the register and she wants to say, "Hello, may I help you, please?"
Yeah, that's amazing. That's good. That's generational wealth right there. And
Mhm.
what are some of the key lessons you've learned throughout your entrepreneurship journey? And then I want to talk to you about the advocacy piece.
Well, one lesson is that is nothing more satisfying than a satisfied customer and a happy, satisfied customer.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is what I will miss when I change lanes and turn the corner on another venture.
Okay. I have a question in the chat. So, Baby Eiffel says, how have you influenced other young people to pursue their passion in entrepreneurship?
Well, I don't know if I influence them, but I let them know that working for yourself is a whole lot harder than working for someone else. There's no um, paycheck, so to speak, at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You can't call out. You have to be determined to succeed, and you have to be determined to succeed every day,
Mm-hmm.
not when you feel like it. So, today the young people are energized and very, very enthusiastic, and then somehow it's a little bit of an entitlement somewhere.
Mm.
Can't really put your finger on it.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly
So
what you're saying.
you have to help them get around that and help them understand that
Yeah.
you know whatever you get out of your business is really what you put into it.
I agree with that. And, I have some questions coming up in the chat here. How did you find your customers? How did you go about finding them? That was hard
Well,
for me. I found it hard to find customers. How did you do that?
I didn't. I first of all, my store is on the business district strip.
Hmm.
That's the first thing.
So location
Second,
is key.
so location, location, location.
Hmm.
There was a store before me, but it was a totally different type of store. It wasn't high fashion. It was very, very low fashion.
Hmm.
Um, so it was kind of a shock to the neighborhood.
Hmm.
But then once it took off running, and
Okay.
we never looked back.
Oh, okay. And so they're asking, can you share some of your strategies?
I think the biggest strategy is to remain humble and to be approachable
Hmm.
and to be respectable.
Hmm.
Those 3 things were the key to the success.
Okay. And I have another question here. Did you ever create any community events or fairs at your store, or have anyone, um, or have like a launch or anything like that?
Well, over the years, we would have like, they call it, the terminology is like a trunk sale, where you introduce different designers and their pieces for a personal showing. We also have a big community party, sidewalk sale type of thing,
Okay.
where people really feel like they're getting good bargains and they're
Mm-hmm.
getting interact with you. You're outside on the street, you're inside. Um, so those 2 things are the major thing, the trunk sailing and the Wadsworth Avenue Day. It's like a big day, a big deal.
Okay. And another question is there one outfit that you had in the store and could not sell, and then you did? Tell us that story because I want to know.
Well, I mean,
Because there's always one something where you're trying to get rid of it. You can't get rid of it.
so I take that challenge because there's nothing that I purchase that I can't sell.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the attitude that I have before I even get it.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely nothing. I don't buy anything sight unseen or what someone else would say, this is good, this would work for you. I
Hmm.
have to see it. If I believe it works for me, it will work for me and I can sell.
Oh, okay. And Miss Ross looks well put together, and she seems extremely confident. How did this begin?
Sometimes, well, I guess, you're born like that. The confidence is the whole family. The style,
Mhm,
I have to give credit to my mother.
mhm.
She's had style, and we've had style our whole lives.
Yeah.
So that's just who we are. It's what we do. As
And
my
thank you
son
for the
said,
as you, yeah, that's a beautiful compliment because when you see a person like that, you're very radiant and you look very extremely confident. So, seeing that you were in the game for 37 years and you have that kind of confidence, it kind of goes along with, my next question is, you know, seeing now it's 37 years and, what's next? I know as an entrepreneur, it's always
it's
the
always something
a
next.
next. There's always a next,
Can't be an entrepreneur without thinking of the next
Yeah.
strategy, the next plan to take you to the higher level.
Yeah.
So right now, I have a couple projects I'm working on.
Mhm.
Again, I am a doula,
Yeah.
and I like to focus on the lactation part of the doula. I have a few projects that I don't really want to mention, but
No.
they're going to coincide with this. So I'm always working, always looking for the next big thing.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. And listen, this is embrace your edges. So I'm just reading what I got on here. Person want to know if you're single.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. You heard. Okay. There's always one. There's always one. You've shared quite a bit with us. Now, I know that me and you spoke a little bit around the whole advocacy piece when it comes to women, domestic violence, women that are trying to reinvent themselves, whether it be employment or, get back out there and looking for that piece. What part of fashion can you apply to building confidence, with the women that have experienced trauma or some kind of, separation in their lives where they're now figuring out, trying to figure themselves out, or even their sexuality? Yeah.
So there's a term, it's called retail therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Retail therapy is a
Oh.
special place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of your psyche that takes you away,
Yeah.
like a candlelit bubble bath. It just takes you away from whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through.
Okay.
And because I have the fortune of never being in that type of situation, I
Mm-hmm.
have the empathy for it,
Yeah.
and also own all these beautiful things. And if you just give somebody one thing
Mm-hmm.
that they can't afford, but will make them happy, like a purse,
Mm-hmm.
something that they will carry every day
Mm-hmm.
and mean something to them, that will change their whole trajectory. They will just change them.
Yeah.
And then when you look into a person's eyes
Mm-hmm.
and you see what they're going through, and you try to encourage them to believe that this too shall pass,
Yes.
that this doesn't define you,
Mm-hmm.
and don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and let's get a plan.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. I'm going to read actually what's in the chat. Donna. Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we both know Donna. Donna said Miss Ross was voted the best dressed in her high school too, and yes, she was, because with the drive. Wait, I can't see my eyes. The drive as she as oh she has a drive as she has mentioned. So yes, you have lots of you are very driven. We can all see that you're extremely driven. Thank you for that comment, Donna. That's there's some love bubbles going up. I want to hit a love bubble too. Let me see. I hope I don't. Yep, there we go. Love that one. Okay. And is there anything that you want to tell us about the store? Anything that any promotions that are coming up, or anything that you want us to know?
Well, what I need people to understand is that I am in the liquidation stage. It's been 37 years. And again, retail is not what it used to be. So I have to start working toward my transition to the next big thing. So, in saying that, when it comes to other people and their businesses,
Mm-hmm.
I would like for them to stay self motivated, to respect their hustle, to continue to network, use the social media for everything that it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth always works,
Yes.
but that social media right now is the ticket to the stars.
Yes.
So use it, learn it, figure it out. That's the stage I'm in right now, trying to figure that out.
Oh, okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, I'm excited and looking for the next big thing.
All right. I got two comments in here. Let me just read them. I'm going to correct myself with Donna's comment. She said Miss Ross was voted best dressed in her junior high school, too. And yes, she was born with the drive, as she mentioned. And Baby Eiffel said, we need to let the young people know that they can embrace different ways of going into business. She goes, I am glad Miss Ross took the time, the courage and steps she did. Aw, that's amazing. That is great. Well, I am, I am just like in awe of you. I can't wait for you to get more into the advocacy piece. I think that, when it comes around employment, especially for women, I think that you would be a great asset to the advocacy piece, and maybe getting out there and doing some TED Talks. I think you'd be great at doing some TED Talks. Yeah. Yeah. And, oh, oh, one more thing. Oh, and one more question here. If you had to do it all over again, what is the one lesson that you learned that you would never do that again? So if you had to do it all over again, what was the one lesson?
I don't know, because I turned all my lessons into blessings somehow.
Mm.
So there's nothing. I would do everything the same probably. I would I don't know. I just know that the formula that I use, that determination to succeed
Mm-hmm.
regardless of circumstances or whatever, that's the formula.
Oh,
And
okay.
you just got to have that. You have to be determined to succeed every single day.
Okay. Well, Rhonda, I really want to thank you so much for joining us today on Embrace Your Edges. I got a few more minutes left and I'm going to open it up for questions, but I just want to let people know that you are on Wadesworth Avenue in Philadelphia. I got it.
Wadsworth Avenue,
Wow,
Philadelphia.
Walsworth. Okay, I got it wrong. Avenue in Philadelphia. And
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we have limited hours now because of
okay.
the situation. So we're Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Mhm.
unless something's going on and I can't be there.
Mhm.
We're liquidating, so the prices are very, very reasonable.
Mhm.
Um,
Is
we're
there a
looking
place
for
where they can purchase it either online or they have to come to the store?
No, at this time they have to come to the store. I'm working towards doing it online. I just don't want to. I want to retire,
Okay.
so I'm trying to liquidate as much as I can before I have to make a decision on whether or not I need to move these things and be able to ship from another location. That's something that I really do not want to do.
Okay, and what are the hours for the, because you said Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you said
12 to 6.
12 to 6. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 12 to 6 p.m. liquidation at Simply Vogue Boutique in Philadelphia. Hey, I wish you got some of these things online because I saw some pictures, and I was like, okay, this is giving, So I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I think that you are a beautiful soul, and you are going to be missed in the game, but I know you're going to be going into something else, so you're not gone from entrepreneurship, just from the fashion piece for now, because like entrepreneurs, our fingers twiddle, and all of a sudden we're back in the same game again, right?
Always game.
Yes. Okay. So, any more questions out there, Colette with love? Oh, yeah. One more question here. Person is typing. Okay. I'm starting my own business, and I'm having trouble getting people to understand my vision. Would you recommend me spending time explaining it to them, or would you recommend me creating an event to show them?
I'm sorry. Was that for me?
Yeah.
I'm
I'll read it
sorry.
over again. That's okay. I know. Hey, I get it. I totally get it. And this is the part where I think that people need to see when it comes to entrepreneurs is that
You need to
it,
see because you're always working.
you're
You're never
always working.
cannot clock out. That's why
No, you let me tell you
there's no
something.
clock.
The people think that you're supposed to go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. The 1 o'clock is like prime time. Okay, there's so many different things going
Some of your
on.
best thinking is in the middle of the night because you have to shut it down before you
Yes,
can turn it on.
exactly, exactly. And people were like, "Don't you sleep?" No, for what?
Why?
Why? Exactly. So the person wants to know basically, I'll put it into context. Going into business, having a problem with people around her supporting her, and she wants to know whether or not she should spend time explaining herself or create an event to kind of showcase what she's working on.
Well, first of all, you don't have to show them anything. Your success will show them. Secondly, there's always going to be naysayers in your direct circle because that's just the way people are.
Hmm.
Because they don't have the courage to take the chance, to take
Mm.
the plunge into doing something different out of their comfort zone. So
Yes.
because they don't feel it, they don't want you to feel it. And then somewhere in the back of their mind, they really do want you to succeed, but it's crazy. My grandmother used to say, crabs in the barrel. I don't know.
Yes.
But you can't listen to people. First of all, don't tell anyone or everyone what your plans are.
Yes. I
You
agree.
can show them way better than you can tell them.
Yes.
So please do not focus on trying to prove to other people what your vision is and how you plan to execute.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Action speaks louder than words.
then that is so true. I have one more question for you. In the chat, it's from Rudy. He said, "Miss Ross, have you encouraged any black men trying to get into their own business, or are just mostly women?"
Anyone, black men, the thing about black men that I've spoken with
Mm-hmm.
is that for some reason they want advice, but then they want to be chauvinistic and act like they didn't need your advice
Mm-hmm.
because they're men and they know. However, if you want to know the formula, the regular formula is there's no free rides and you have to work hard and you have to work harder when it's
Mm-hmm.
your own business.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely true.
don't go into a business if you're not willing to sacrifice your time, your money, your expertise, whatever you have to offer, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it every day.
Yes. And I think a lot of people don't understand, entrepreneurship. We talk about women and men, uh, you know, only because the majority of people in business, and I'll tell you why, because I actually learned this, and it was pretty interesting when I heard it. I was like, that's so true. When you tell a woman to go into business, she goes into planning. when you tell a man to go into business, he starts. And that's why you have so many men in business versus women, because we're thinking about all the things that can go wrong, and we're trying to plan, and we have limited amount of resources, so we got to be careful. But a man, they have access to a lot of different resources. Sometimes they don't know about the resources, but the resources are there for them, and that's the difference. And that's why you might have that push pull when it comes to men and women. But entrepreneurship, honestly, is entrepreneurship. Doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, or child, whatever. It is the amount of sweat that you're going to do,
Blood,
and
sweat,
blood. I know.
tears.
Yes, and people sitting there waiting for you to fail.
Everyone's waiting for you to fail, but then when you don't fail, they're on the cheerleading team. I knew you can do it. You're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
You're amazing. But at the same time, oh my God, what made you think you could do that?
Right, right, right. Oh yeah, I had some people on the fence sitting down there like waiting, oh, waiting for that fall. And then when they go, oh my God, the Kadir ones. You have the Kadir people. You have the I told you so people. And I don't listen. I go for hikes and try to figure it out, come back and find a solution. But yeah, that is the end of our show. But thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule again. You can check her out. I know you have you started a little bit on the social media, but it's best to contact the store. You can go online and look for the store. Do you want to drop the phone number? Maybe they can give it a call.
215-880-3068.
Okay, perfect. And we're gonna put that up on our YouTube channel, so you can always take a call over. And remember, liquidating on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the hours are 12 to 6. I got that right?
Yes.
All right. So, Miss Rhonda, thank you so much. I keep calling you Miss Rhonda. Miss Ross, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Again, remember to like, subscribe, and listen to Embrace Your Edges. And we will see you next Wednesday. And again, thank you, beautiful soul, beautiful soul. Please continue what you're doing. Continue to motivate, educate, and to love. Thank you so much. You're blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Okay, we will
having
have
me.
we will have our next entrepreneur next Wednesday. We will have Lisa Brown from Ontario, Canada, as she shares the ins and outs of Airbnb, property investment, and spin class. I want to hear about that too. I am so excited about all these women. Yay. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Have a great evening. And thank you everyone for joining us on Embrace Your Edges. Rudy, Donna, Petra, Victor, all the regulars. Thank you, Baby Eiffel. Thank you so much, Collect with Love, for always being there. And thank you, Kobe, for hooking us up with the electronics. Oh my God, it was crazy. They're saying goodnight to you.
Good night.
Okay, good night, Rhonda. Bye.
Bye.